Rainey moaned into her gag, sound like a dying animal, almost made Bo feel sorry for her. Almost, but not quite. She removed Caleb's sweater. Rainey looked up at her with blackened, tear-streaked eyes. Her nose obliterated, the whole lower half of her face covered in crusted blood. She shook the chair, raising all four legs off the floor repeatedly, the trap door thumping like a drum. Bo grabbed her shoulders, repeating, "Stop it!" until the struggling subsided. The girl wept up at her. Bo ignored her, checked the knots. They seemed secure. She bent in close, studying the girl's eyes. "You been out of the house?" Rainey looked at her as if she lost her damn mind. "No," Bo said, shaking her head. "You been a good girl, haven't you? You stay being a good girl, and maybe I'll let you go." Rainey's wet eyes filled with hope. "You gonna stay quiet?" She nodded. "All right, then. I'm gonna go back outside a minute. Don't you start bouncing around again. This ain't a music video." Bo left her, grabbed the heavy broom from the closet, and took it outside. She stood it against the door and flicked on the flashlight, cupping the beam. Followed the trail of bare feet toward Caleb's window. "Shoulda known he'd get out, Bo." She knew he'd been wandering those nights she locked him in, when life had gotten her so down she couldn't bear to look at him. A gut feeling. She thought about getting a lock put on his window, but if letting him wander gave him the illusion of freedom, she was sure he'd rebel if she had. She hadn't been thinking straight when she left the house. Caleb climbing out of his window had been the least of her worries. Oh well, not like he wasn't going to find out tomorrow. Probably heard the hubbub under his damn door anyhow. Bo pushed the broom through the dirt and stones and dead pine needles, clearing her mind as she swept away the evidence, relishing the feel of getting work done. When she was finished, she returned to the house, put the broom back in the closet, and walked right by Rainey Layne, who locked eyes with her through her reflection in the darkened window pane, to Caleb's door. She stood outside the door a long moment, thinking of how to explain herself. She wouldn't even know how to explain it if she tried. The whole situation had spiraled out of control, leaving her with no other choice. Her heart physically hurt at the thought of them taking Caleb away from her. Bo unlocked the door and opened it. A triangle of lamplight illuminated the room. Caleb was in bed, eyes closed but not sleeping, breathing fast as if she'd almost caught him. Standing in the doorway, Bo waited for him to open his eyes and acknowledge her presence. After maybe 30 seconds, she said, "We'll talk in the morning." She closed the door and drew the bolt. Back at the table, Rainey watched with wide-eyed suspicion as Bo dragged a chair in close. At the broom closet, she grabbed the .22 and laid it on the table, out of Rainey's reach. Rainey stared at the rifle as Bo sat facing her. "You've probably sobered up some and wondered why the hell I've got you tied here to a chair. Tomorrow, you and I are going to have a chat about that. But for now, I want to establish something. I am not your enemy. If you play straight with me, we'll make this right." She scooched in closer. "But if you play games, if you threaten me or my boy again, well then, we've got a problem." Rainey's eyes narrowed. "Do you understand?" Breathing hard through her plugged nostrils. "Nod and show me you understand." Begrudgingly, the girl nodded. "Okay then, let's get some sleep." Bo moved the chair back so she sat next to the rifle. She crossed her arms over her chest, sat listening to the frogs sing and the night bugs chirp. Her eyes grew heavy. She tried to keep them from shutting, but it was a losing battle. The last thing she saw before she fell asleep was the terror in Rainey Layne's battered and bruised face, and she thought, "What have I done?"